This presentation is based on information that I received right before I took a licensing exam, my last test for my professional license. I went to a 2-day workshop to prepare us for this exam. The state average was a 59 and you had to make a 70 to pass. The people that went to the 2-day workshop averaged a 70. And so this information that I received I thought would have been very helpful years before that exam. So I'm sharing these tips that I received with you. And I ended up making a 72 on that test, so I was quite proud of that. Now, multiple choice questions. There are 4 answers to multiple choice questions. Number 1 is the answer. 2, B, an answer that is kind of close to the answer. And then C, a good answer. It sounds good, but it's not really relevant to the question. And then D is a swimming pool answer. It means it's just kind of out there. It doesn't really make sense. It doesn't apply. It's obviously not the right answer. So what you're going to do when you're taking a test is to begin elimination of the choices that are not correct. First, read the question. Don't look at the choices. Try to answer the question in your head. Then look at your choices and pick the one that fits your answer. Read each question twice. Make sure you read it correctly. Pay attention to the qualifiers. The first, last, except, including. Those are going to be really important on how you answer that question. So I bet many of you have gotten a test back and realized that it was just an error in the way you read it and you could have made a much better grade. So if you don't know the answer, do not skip the question. Remember the similarity principle. There's going to be 2 answers, the answer and then the one that's kind of close to the real answer. So those 2 are maybes. Now find your out there question, the swimming pool answer. It's just random, it makes absolutely no sense, and it's obviously not correct. So if you can find that, you can X that out. It's not correct. Now find your next item. It's interesting, it's a good answer, but it's not really relevant to the question. You can X that out. So now you're down to the answer and one that kind of sounds like the answer. And you have a 50-50 chance at this point. Now, you could increase your odds by really analyzing those last 2 choices. Ask yourself, what is the essential difference between these last 2 choices? And if you can find out the difference, it will help you make your decision. Now, finally, choose your answer because it is your very best choice. Changing answers. It is a myth that you should never change your answer because your first choice is always right. That's not necessarily true. But you are not going to change your answer unless you misread the question or you continued along the test and you found some information and that triggered the right answer. You may have found the answer somewhere else in the test. At that point, you can go back and change your answer. Before your test, study for 1 to 2 hours per night at least 2 weeks before the exam. The night before the exam, just relax. Get plenty of sleep, go out, enjoy your evening. Do not cram. Cram does not help. It's not effective. You will not retain that information trying to cram it the night before. In fact, you'll just increase your stress level. So study 2 weeks before the exam and then stop. The day of the test, have protein for breakfast or lunch right before the test. You can bring something like a protein bar or shake with you to have right before the test. You can take a bag of nuts and eat them right before the test. Don't have any heavy foods or carbs. It's not the time for the really big Mexican food meal. So you want to eat a light meal that has protein in it. Have your normal amount of caffeine. It's not the time to skip your caffeine if you always have a cup of coffee, but don't drink 2 cups of coffee if you drink 1. It'll just make you jittery and lessen your ability to concentrate on the test. You also want to dress comfortably. Dress in layers. Bring a sweater or a jacket with you in case the room is cold, because the last thing you want to do is be uncomfortable. 30 minutes before the test, go over your materials. Find one area that seems a little fuzzy and just study that. Go to class 5 minutes early, because you will be more relaxed instead of worried about being late and running into the classroom. So get there early and find your spot. Be sure you have your supplies. Make sure you have your pen or pencil. If you have to have a testing booklet that you were supposed to buy, be sure you have that with you. And use relaxation techniques if you need it. So I gave you some links for relaxation exercises. Use those: the breathing, tension differential, positive visualization. That is visualizing something peaceful and relaxing and just holding that thought in your mind for a little bit, and then open your eyes and take the test. So if you're starting to feel anxious, just close your eyes and visualize something peaceful. Do your breathing. Breathe in deeply through your nose. Expand your diaphragm. You should be able to feel your stomach push out as you breathe in. Hold that breath for about 3 seconds and then let the air out slowly through your mouth. And repeat this. You can do this for 1 to 2 minutes and it will help to calm you. You can do it right before the exam or during the exam. And also look at the link for the positive self-talk. One of the ways that we undo our test-taking skills is to say negative things to ourselves, such as, I'm not going to pass this test. I know I'm going to fail it. I know that I'm going to forget everything that I learned. Because trust me, your subconscious mind sees that as an order, and you will forget. You will blank out. So tell yourself, I am prepared for this exam. This test measures my knowledge of the subject. It doesn't measure who I am or how smart I am. And tell yourself, I'm going to relax and think positively and do my very best. And I'm going to feel good about myself and my abilities. And I am an intelligent person. So if you start having a negative thought while you're taking your test, stop yourself and replace that with something positive. And I guarantee you, you will be much more successful when you are taking exams.